bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Hey everybody, what's good? Good afternoon, and welcome to the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score, 100.7 The Score mobile app, TSportsNetwork.com. We're watchable on YouTube, also the Fire Stick, Roku, Apple TV. Lots of different ways you can take us in, and if you are watching, you see that we are not in the normal friendly confines of the First United Bank studio. We are out on the road today, well, really down the road. Here at, first time I think I'm calling it this, Galaxy Stadium. That's Chris Snead to my right. I'm Chois, Woodman, and Lucas White back at home base taking care of us today. We bring you coverage from Texas Tech Media Day, as we are exactly 1 month and 1 day away from kicking off the Texas Tech football season. Tech will start up practices tomorrow. There's football in the air, Snead.
Yeah, I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
Feel it in your loins?
Yeah. All we need is a Phil Collins drum solo here.
A.J. Holmes told me at Big 12 Media Day that is his pregame hype song. He told me earlier he was a rapper, and I'm like, okay. When I asked him a question, I'm like, okay, it'll be some rapper that I've never heard of, like a couple other guys told me. And no, he goes, Phil Collins in the air tonight, the drum solo, boom, it just hits. So pretty good. That will be – it does feel like we're right there, right about the drum solo time for Texas Tech football season that'll be played here in this cathedral behind us. Texas Tech will kick off the season on September 5th against Abilene Christian. We'll visit with there were some interviews throughout. Cam Dickey sat down. I believe Amir Boyd was here earlier. There's some guys that came through, and we had some interviews. If you've missed any of those, you can catch them up at TSportsNetwork.com and all of our social media outlets you can find there. We should, I believe, will be expected to be joined Snead by our coordinators, Mack, Leftwich, and Sheil Wood at some point, and Kenny Perry as well. He might be my favorite person to interview, maybe outside of the head coach. But
yeah, I like having conversations with Kenny, and
he's fun.
And one of the rule changes this year in college football pertains to special teams, and so I'm going to have guys. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to nerd out with him.
Nerd it.
And
Are you
it ought to be
him too?
No, this should be educational for him because he's about to get, some good information for him.
I bet he's pretty well aware of it, but yeah.
You'll be shocked how many questions these guys have already. I mean, you go to a practice and they're asking. Here's the thing. When the rules come out, the first thing the coordinators are doing, they're looking for the edges. They're looking for the gaps, and Kenny and Sheil and Mack are all looking for how can I get in the gray, how can I find the gaps, how can I find the edges of this rule, where can I get to the edge, because everyone wants to operate within the rules, but the rules have edges, and so that's what they're all trying to get to.
So.
And I want to tell you this right now about the rule change we're going to talk about, which is basically the 2x2 formation and scrimmage kicks, which basically means if you don't have a number that's 50 through 79, and you can use a numbering exception on scrimmage kicks for punts and field goals. If you don't have 50 through 79 in the game, then those scrimmage kick numbering exceptions have to be lined up in a center guard tackle formation, and we call it the 2x2, which means there must be a center and a guard. A guard and a tackle on each side of the center, and you can't go overload to one side and have 3-on-1 and 1 on the other, or 4-on-1 and none on the other. You can't do that. You have to have 550 through 79 to do that. So, like I said, you can nerd out really quick on that. So I'm looking forward to having that conversation with him. See what kind of gaps he's trying to get into.
You're right about one thing. You are nerding out,
mm-hmm.
which is good because we got to know the rules. Second thing, is that the new Chris Stapleton song? When the Rules Come Out?
When the Rules Come Out, is that a song?
Well, there's When the Stars Come Out by him. So if When the Rules Come Out.
I tell you, I wrote a song. I did some AI music.
That's not writing a song.
No, I actually wrote the lyrics to the song, but I went to the AI and got the music and all it produced on it.
Okay.
But the lyrics to the song are mine.
This is my surprised face. That you wrote a song, that's not surprising. No,
Would you be surprised if it's about Texas Tech?
Not really, no.
You want to hear it? I'll play it for you in the break. It's 3 minutes long.
Okay.
It's my wife thinks it's awesome.
I hope she does.
Shelby thinks it's awesome.
Wives better think things are awesome.
You know what? I played it for the Home Finder. Home Finder thought it was awesome.
Okay.
He said, you wrote that? I said, I wrote that.
I got to be honest, you're kind of coming off with a Stevie Wonder type look on TV right now.
Very superstitious writings on the wall.
Okay, y'all can check the Chris Snead singing off your bingo card, bottom line bingo card.
I was going to say this would be some more I wish right there.
We will get into plenty of football chatter today as the Red Raiders ready for the season. I've gone through and had conversations with 21 different players this morning.
Really?
21, yes. So
you get a lot of audio.
These are all 2-minute drills.
Who gets to break that down on audio?
Not me. So that's the best part. Thanks, Brennan and Rob Bro and our interns and Evelina. Yes, they're all much better than me. That's the best way to plead on something is they're better at it than me. They're better, so yeah. I don't need it.
Evelina's only been here like a week.
But I think by age default, she's better at social media than me. So
that's true.
That's how this works. So, no, it'll be fun. I had one of the players speak to me in French.
Cool.
We had all sorts of fun answers, good stuff. I had one player speak to me in Australian,
which is
just English, but
gave you the eye. He gave you the eye.
Will Carroll. The accent. I was a little worried. I do this at times. I start copying an accent when you hear it.
Yeah.
Like unintentionally. I was really worried, and I had to focus on not unintentionally mocking Will Carroll by doing an Australian accent while he's doing, his normal Australian accent to me. But I don't think I did, so we're good there. They had to widen the shot by a lot, or I guess lengthen the shot, with Howard Sampson and Jacob Ponton.
Okay.
These dudes are giants.
Large.
6'9", 6'8" on those guys, so pretty tall dudes. And I felt like a child just looking up at them. But yeah, good stuff. We'll post those 2-minute drill videos throughout the week, in coming days, as we've got plenty of content there. All of our content, our interviews, you'll find on our social media sites, doubletsportsnetwork.com as well. And I believe the head coach is about to take the podium in a little bit.
Nice.
In there. So we'll get reports back.
We're out here.
We'll get reports
He's
back.
He's in there. We're out here.
I don't know. We could get someone to go
just
FaceTime and do it that way.
FaceTime.
Just FaceTime the audio.
Can we ask the question via FaceTime?
Yeah.
The question from the porch, Coach.
Yeah. Okay, he said this. Yeah. Do a little play-by-play. All right, plenty from you. We welcome your thoughts. Anything you want to hear asked, you can bring it in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line as we bring you the action from Texas Tech Media Day today on the bottom line, 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Sometimes Big Voice Guy just amazes me.
Pourquoi?
How did he even know we're in the south end zone of Jones Stadium?
He knows everything.
That's amazing. We are in the south end zone of Jones Stadium. Getting you ready for football season with Texas Tech Media Day coverage live right now from Galaxy Stadium. There's the first one.
The Big Voice Guy just told you.
And I just said
he
Galaxy.
He literally just told you.
I said Galaxy right before that, too. Did he say Galaxy?
He did.
Are you sure?
I did. He said it.
Okay. Can you confirm this, Lucas? That that's what he said?
He said from the south end zone of Galaxy Stadium.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but okay. My bad, y'all. That's the first of many. We got fans, and it makes it sound like the wind is blowing.
It's not like we're in a windstorm and we just have fans going.
We need the fans.
No, you need the fan.
I need fans.
I don't need the fan.
You don't?
No.
I'm sweating. Got some sweat
That's
going.
okay. I mean, hey, are they sweaty?
Let's leave that one alone. We have some news, some breaking news, Christopher Snead.
Well, let's fix it. Let's go.
That was nice. I liked what you did there. The 2026 U.S. LBM Coaches Preseason Poll is out. Top 25. At number, most of these people start with number 1. We'll start with number 12 because that's where the Red Raiders are. Smack in the middle of this thing. Number 12.
Nice.
Which is... it's so windy today. I actually think it's your mic, but it's cool.
It's not my mic.
It's yours. I blame you. I just need to lean back. Just need to lean back a
It's
little.
100% your mic.
Don't you?
It's 100% you.
I need to aim this thing lower, like towards my bottom half anyway.
Aim lower. Aim lower.
Texas Tech's number 12 in the coaches poll.
Yeah.
Reaction.
Probably right about where they need to be.
I think it's fine.
I think it's a safe place to be. It's one of those. If the playoffs started today, you'd be the 12th seed.
Probably
you
so.
think it's a playoff team? Yeah, I do think it's a playoff team too.
What's interesting is the voters know. I think almost everybody voting in this expects Texas Tech to win. Not everybody, but most of the coaches voting in this poll expect Texas Tech to win.
Yeah.
If you win the Big 12, highly unlikely that you're going to be a 12 seed.
No, you're
going to be
top 4 again.
Probably. If you win it with an 11-2 record or depending what you get.
If you win the Big 12, you're guaranteed a spot.
No, they changed that rule.
Did they change the rule?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because we won.
No, it was before. They changed it because Arizona State. That's why they changed.
Oh, that's right.
Boise State.
Because Texas Tech. I mean, not Texas. Because Texas had to be the visiting team against Arizona.
Boise State is the one that they changed against because Texas didn't get the bye and Arizona State did. But both of those teams, yes. So no, but I don't believe if you win the Big 12 conference, I think you're going at least 11-1.
Yeah.
And you're probably maybe even 12-0. If you are, then you're not going to be a 12 seed.
Yeah.
12 seed is typically reserved for one of those
FBS Group of 5 team, which is I have.
I was about to say, you can't say this anymore, right? Because
I'm now one of them.
I'm like, now Snead has to be a little bit more reserved on that.
No,
opinion.
I've always been of this. I've always been of the opinion that
if you're good enough, then play. But if you're not,
well, this whole idea that it's like this Power 4, Group of 4, Group of 8, Group of 6, whatever it is. Why, if you're in a Group of 6 conference, if you're in the American Sun Belt Conference USA, Mountain West, Pac-12, I just said it out loud. If you're in one of those, and now you're fighting tooth and nail for table scraps, why wouldn't you just propose that, guys? Why don't we just play our own championship? What's the point?
I think we probably get there at some point.
Now here's the deal.
Because in the off chance that Boise State wins a national title, it revives.
Well, that's the thing.
Revives the Group of 6.
The problem you get is that the rules are set up so that Boise State can't do that.
You're right.
And so we're fighting around. We're tiptoeing around this notion that these Group of 6 conference teams have a chance. They really don't, because they're going to ship you off. You're going to be a 12 or 11 seed,
mm-hmm.
and you're going to play a 5 or a 6 seed. And then if you win that, congratulations. Here's your 1 or 2 seed on the road.
Yeah.
Well, not on the road, but in a neutral site that's going to be heavily favored towards them.
Sure.
So I just think that's kind of a
I get what you're saying. I do.
Let me finish with this. If the fear is that you're creating 1AA again,
mm-hmm.
you're not really, because of the difference is 1AA schools are schools that, I mean, they don't have the same following, obviously. And heck, half the teams at the bottom of Power 4 don't have the same following. Every school in the SEC is not putting 105,000 into their stadium.
No.
I remember Vanderbilt, if they sell every seat in their stadium, they put 36,000 people there. So just keep that in mind. The same goes for the Big Ten. I mean, it's like, hey, what happens when you go to Rutgers? We all hear about the big house. But what happens when you go to Rutgers?
Yeah.
I mean, no one's bragging about the 56,000 people that go to that game on a good day.
Sure.
So it's we all act like every team in the SEC and the Big Ten is the same as Ohio State and Alabama. It's not.
No, that's how the national perception is, though.
Yeah.
When we talk about teams, when we talk about conferences, we talk about a conference just like it's all the top representation. And that's why the Big 12 gets hurt.
You know who hated Indiana getting to the national championship game more than anybody, more than the SEC or anybody else? You know who hated that? The media. They had to go out and learn about Indiana. They didn't know squat about Indiana football for the last 2 years, other than Kurt Signetti showed up there and said, "I win, Google me." And he kind of challenged them, and then they, I guess, had to go Google him and find out who he is.
And he does win.
And he does win.
He backed it up.
He backed it up. He says, and now he's walking around with a wheelbarrow in front of himself.
Rest of the poll, Snead.
Yes.
The USLBM coaches preseason poll has Ohio State first overall, 38 first-place votes. This is the first time since, I'm going to check this, 2008 that there are 6 teams with first-place votes. First since 2008. Oregon is second with 6 first-place votes. Georgia second.
SEC.
Or third, with 7 first-place votes. Texas got 2 first-place votes. They're fourth.
SEC.
Notre Dame, 5 first-place votes. They're fifth.
Independent.
Indiana had 14, the second most first-place votes. So that's where the coaches are just like, we're putting you there until you lose.
Those guys are good.
We're putting you there until you get knocked off, which is a lot of coaches' approach.
I mean,
they're 6th, though.
They're good.
Miami is 7th. They played for a title last year. Texas A&M right in their normal spot, about 8th.
I just don't know how they do it.
Oklahoma 9, Ole Miss 10, Alabama 11, and Texas Tech is 12. Let's line that up with the college football playoff odds according to BetOnline, which also came out today. Notre Dame is number 1. Notre Dame has the best odds. Ohio State, Texas, Oregon, Indiana comes in at 5. Georgia, who was third in this poll, they have 6th best odds. Miami, LSU, Alabama, Ole Miss, LSU, and then Alabama, Ole Miss, A&M, and Tech all tied. 5, 6, 7, 8. 9th best odds.
Okay.
So Texas Tech is ranked 9th according to Vegas, along with Alabama, Ole Miss. So right in that same range. Other Big 12 schools, you may ask, who's the next Big 12 school? Brigham Young comes in at 15. Then you go down to Utah at 21. And Houston at 24.
And so once again, I ask the question, what has Utah done to deserve that modicum of respect?
Logo.
I mean, because
what it is.
Their record last year didn't really. What did they go? 9-3 last year? 8-4?
9-3.
Yeah,
they were good. I think that's good enough for a top 25 bid. I also think Arizona should be in the top 25. And
that's my question. You got to where I was getting to. Why is Arizona not there, and why is Utah there?
You know who else got it? So TCU, Arizona got votes. You know who else from the Big 12 got a vote?
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State got a top 25 vote, and they've been 0-12 or 0-9 in Big 12 play the last 2 years.
Utah went 10-2.
Did Utah go 10-2?
Thank you, Lucas.
Thanks, voice from above.
God, it's the bottom line.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Back. It is LT 97.3, 100.7 The Score's coverage of Texas Tech Media Day. live from Galaxy Stadium. They're stitching it on
Yeah,
the field behind us right now.
It's happening. That's happening.
And Kenny Perry joins Chris Snead and myself, Chois Woodman, now for about 10 minutes or
Get
so.
your question in because I'm going to nerd out with him in a minute. So go ahead. I want you to go ahead and get yours.
He's going to go nerdy question. First off, KP, thanks for sitting down with us. But
my pleasure.
This is a little different this year, Coach, because you have won a Big 12 championship. When we're sitting there talking last year, it's all about trying to get to Arlington, trying to win it for the first time. How's it feel different going into this season?
You know, I think I told you last year. I thought, we had a shot, obviously a pretty good shot.
Yeah.
Last year was pretty emotional being there. I don't know if I told you, teared up on the bus ride over, got there, and I was kind of like, "What the hell's going on with you, man? You're not this soft." Really, I'm not that soft-natured person like that.
Yeah.
So this year, now it's don't be soft. Let's go win a national championship.
Let's go.
We deserve it. Our fans deserve it. We're here. We know how to coach. We got a great head coach. We got the best fan base in the country.
No doubt.
Best administration, athletic director, president. We got everything there is.
No doubt.
So let's go win it.
You got a line.
Yep.
All right. Hey, so I'm excited to ask you this question because we got through the rules changes here, and one of the big rules changes this year pertain to scrimmage kick formations.
Yep.
And I jokingly call this the Katy Perry rule because you are a guru of getting in the gray, getting in the gaps, and finding the edges of the rules. And so I thought that this rule was probably designed for you and a couple of other special teams coaches around the country. So, and basically if people don't understand, when it comes to scrimmage kick formations, you can use numbering exceptions, which means you can put somebody other than 50 through 79 on the offensive line in a position from center, guard, tackle. And you can do that on either side. And you could put them pretty much anywhere on the line of scrimmage as long as you had a center, guard, tackle and in your numbering exceptions. And the idea was to try to get guys lost in the shuffle,
which we did.
And you'd get some guys, and you could find a guy, and if the defense and or the officials forgot that guy was ineligible, you could pick up a free first down or even a touchdown. So they put the rule in that basically allows that the center, if you have numbering exceptions, has to have a 2-by-2 formation, which means within the tackle box you have to have a guard and a tackle.
Right.
So you've had this come down, and I know I'm not going to ask you to give away any secrets, but
no.
how have you approached and attacked this rule change?
First of all, it was pretty frustrating because this rule came down on us right before the playoffs.
Yeah.
When they called us and said, "Hey, what you're doing is illegal, and we're going to have it called in the playoffs." And me and Coach were just, I was pissed off.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, you should have done that before the season.
Sure.
Came after. I've been doing this for a long time. Anyways, then obviously they leaned on us after the playoffs or after the national championship to help with the rule. And when I say leaned on us, they really didn't ask my opinion, but they came up with a new rule, and how they did it, I don't know that it really. They made it hard on a lot of people because a lot of people still don't understand. I wish they would have just come up with a rule and said, "Hey, you've got to have 4 guys next a guard and a tackle next to the center." And then they came back and said, "Hey, you can still use the number exception rule. Put guys in these other jerseys and go back to all the formations." Well, they really didn't solve the problem because people are going to do that, or they're going to put. With the new rule.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of like, well, how did you fix the problem if you're going to use the number exception rule? So I think they've, I feel bad for officials because I think officials already have a hard enough job, and now they're trying to, it's going to either slow the game down or they're going to make it harder for people to identify, which guys are going to be eligible. And I think there's going to be something that's going to come where it's going to slow the game down. And so we're still talking. Our officials are great in our conference.
Yeah.
I love our conference. I went last week to Dallas to the Big 12 conference meeting with our officials, and they've been asking what ways they can do better, and I've helped them, and I want to help our coaches. I've communicated with our guys throughout our conference of things that we can do to help them. So, officials, you got to have them, because without them, it's pure anarchy, as you're well aware. So,
Well,
we can complain and do everything, but they got a tough job. So we want to do what's right. But as always, like you said, I'm looking to gain an advantage for Texas Tech, and
Sure.
I don't want other people to know what we're doing, but we want to play within the rules, but we're also going to skate the rules until they say, hey, you can't do that.
Well, you're exactly right, and we know that, and we're not trying to. I think any official will tell you we're going to let you operate within the gray,
Sure.
and we're going to find what they've tried to do is to eliminate some of that gray, but there's still going to be gray in there, and you pointed out some of the gray in there,
Yeah.
with the jersey change, and it becomes a little bit of a gray area. In fact, it's kind of a super gray area, and you kind of also pointed out they hadn't really solved that problem.
Yeah.
I wish they really. I wish they. I think hopefully next year they just come out and say, you got to have a guy on both sides of the center, and that's it. And then whatever you do
no
after the
numbering
formation,
exception.
no number
Yeah.
exception.
Yeah.
That's what you have to have, and then now you're good. You've got the rest. You got five eligible guys, and go on.
Yep.
So if they did that, it would make it a lot easier. But they haven't called me yet or given me any.
Well, they'll give you the opportunity in the offseason to suggest something like that.
So you said, I love our conference. I don't know that it's necessarily reciprocated by everybody in the conference
No.
right now. That's another thing that's going to be different going into the season. Without specifics on team names, unless you want to give them, that's fine too. Are there games that you will want to kick the snot out of other teams a little bit more than others this year?
No, I want to beat everybody. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I said, I'm one of those guys that I've always had that chip on my shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I think this year, kind of just what we, the last 2 or 3 months, what we went through.
Yeah.
I don't know that it hardened me any more than my whole life has hardened me.
Sure.
So, but yeah, guess what? Whoever they put in front of us, they put it in front of us for a reason.
I love
and
it.
So, we're gonna go play, and whatever happens, happens. So.
As a fan, I have one request. I hope that every play, every game, you have the opportunity to throw into the end zone on the last play of the game if you're up by 25 points or more, and I hope that you do it.
Yeah, and I'll tell Coach, let's go for 2 after we do.
Absolutely. If you score, I hope you go for 2. Because I
love it.
I have lost no love for this league this year.
Yeah, it's just a shame. Like I said, I've been doing this for 34 years, and one thing I've always been is, I've been about kids just like everybody else. And,
Sure.
I know the rules, and I get it. Once again, I've always followed rules, and I've always tried to be there. But I've always been behind kids. And I say kids, these guys are men nowadays, but I get it. And
They're kids.
our fans are our fans, and they're going to back their school just like every other school. Nobody would have done anything different than we did. And our head coach backed his player, and
Sure.
nothing different. But the way people came at us and said what we were doing, once again, they would do the same thing for their school. So
Sure
at the end of the day, our kids are going to fight for us, and we're going to fight for them. So they know that.
Good.
So this year we got right around a minute left. This is a team, a season that obviously you're playing with that target on your back, but didn't it kind of feel that way last year anyway?
Yeah, I think don't you want? My thing is, if you don't have a target on your back, then you're not doing your job.
Sure.
Honestly, if you should have that. You should want to feel that as a coach. You should get your best every game, because then you're saying, you know what, we've as a program we're where we need to be at, instead of being everybody's homecoming, or being everybody double 2 point or 21 point dog every week.
Right.
You want to have that target on your back, and I think as a program, that's where we're at. We're there. We want people to come after us, give us your best, and we better have our best, every week. So
Every week.
we've got it.
You placed a lot of leadership off of last year's team. Do you feel like that leadership is still strong this year?
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Those guys, this camp. That's what this camp's about. Coach has done a good job getting them ready in the off season, but that's what camp's for. Let's see who wants to hit and play football, because hasn't changed. It's physical.
Sure.
We've shown that you got to play defense, you got to score points, and you got to be really good on special teams if you want to win.
KP, awesome stuff as usual.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for being here as usual.
Good luck, and we'll be rooting for you this year.
Thank you guys. Appreciate
See you
y'all.
at practice here. If you
We'll be there.
Yep.
That is Kenny Perry, Texas Tech Associate Head Coach. You're listening to The Bottom Line, live from Texas Tech Media Day on 100.7 The Score.
bringing you the truth or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Live from Galaxy Stadium alongside Chris Snead. I'm Chois Woodman. It's the Bottom Line. He and I have about an hour left with you. We've got about 4 left with you out here from Galaxy Stadium today. Appreciate all our sponsors making this possible as we bring you coverage and all sorts of stuff, including interviews like we just had with Kenny Perry. Thanks to KP for joining us for about 10 minutes there. Talk some football. We'll visit with Mack Leftwich coming up here somewhere around the 2:15 zone. So we'll talk with him, Shieldwood after that. So we'll get the full gamut of all the coordinators this afternoon. Y'all can keep bringing in your thoughts, comments, questions on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Lucas, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here as Lucas is back at home base. Let's go ahead and, if you can, get to our question of the day. Snead's going to bring it today.
Time now for Jamie's question of the day on 100.7 The Score. Brought to you by someone not named Jamie and presented by Connecticut of West Texas. Life's hard, your water shouldn't be.
All right, Choicer, Lucas. Today's question is a two-parter here.
Okay.
We talked earlier about teams that we think could potentially upset, upsets. So I ask you, what team on the schedule presents the biggest opportunity for an upset? And on the flip side, which team that you think on the schedule presents the biggest potential for a blowout that you didn't expect?
That I didn't, or other people?
The blowout you didn't expect. Let's say it like this. Which team presents the biggest upset potential that you didn't expect? And which team presents the biggest blowout potential that you didn't expect?
So I think the upset could be lurking in Waco. I think that's a possibility. Mm-hmm. I think if you look on the FPI, this is an analytic thing ESPN does every year. Tech's best chance at a loss is that, and it's like 20% chance at a loss. Yeah. I think I agree with it for whatever reason. There's something with the history there in Joey McGuire. There's something with – I just think that team, they could be playing for their coach's life at that point, staying there. I think that's the one where there's some nerves about an upset. Oklahoma State's another one, but they're also a potential team that could be beat up with a bunch of North Texas players later in the season. But I think with a short week looming on the other side, Thanksgiving week coming up against TCU, I think that Baylor game's one of the classic trap type of games. So that would be the one that I think might put me on edge a little bit. Still expect you to win it. The other part was the team that could be, or the game that could be the biggest upset.
No, the biggest blowout that you didn't expect.
Pardon me. I think the TCU game. I think you're going to kick the ever-loving crap out of them. I really do. I think there's extra oomph because Sonny Dykes runs his mouth about Texas Tech all the time.
Yep.
Did it again this offseason.
Yep.
I think that I think it could be a close game for a little bit, but whenever there's a chance to open it up, I think Joey McGuire will pour out the floodgates. And I think you will see Texas Tech really lay it on thick against TCU. So that's, even though I would guess Vegas would have that like a 14-point game right now, I'm going to predict it to be 30 or more.
Yep. Lucas?
I think the possibility of a big upset would be in Boulder against Colorado.
Wow.
On October 3rd. And with that being said, with the week in between, I think the biggest blowout could be here in Lubbock, and they blow Arizona State out of the water.
Okay.
Okay, what's your answer? I'm all for what Lucas said. Give me the Arizona State. That'd be fun.
That would be interesting.
Both games have been tight ones that you played with them the last 2 years.
You changed one of my answers. One of my answers, my first answer initially was Oklahoma State.
Okay.
was the potential for an upset. And I thought just because of that team gets to running and feeling good.
Sure.
And
I think there's still a chance for it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that's still a core of American athlete players, American Athletic Conference players. That's still a core of North Texas players. I mean, do they have 68 transfers in?
I think that, I think that will catch up towards the end of the season more than anything.
It will. It's just like it did with Colorado. Remember when Colorado brought in, 71 Division I transfers or portal transfers, and they started like a rolling ball of butcher knives, and then it caught up with them. And it just does. You got to have a solid base. And as we know, it's a team with an 0-12, two consecutive years of no conference wins. And there's a reason why Chad Morris and Eric Morris and his staff were there. And that's the reason why. Yeah. So I'm going to stay with Oklahoma State, although I really like your Baylor answer. Because that it screams.
I think those are the top two to me.
Yeah, it is.
Get nervous.
As for blowout games, I thought about TCU. The reason I didn't do that is if you got that game locked up, I think that might just be you drop 20-point win on those guys just by showing up that day, because I don't think TCU is very good either. They got a guy from Harvard, and good luck. So here's the thing. I am all in, all chips in the middle in on us going and dropping a 50 burger on Houston.
50 burger.
Yeah.
I like burgers.
And, because you went down there and you broke it off in those guys in their own place last year, and I expect full-throatedly to do the same thing to them this year.
Full-throatedly. I like it.
Is that a horse name?
It definitely could be.
Yeah.
CW, you going to show them your field goal skills?
Can't.
I would love to.
So show them you can show them the video of the guys out there. They're out there. They're sewing stuff.
We've been asked not to be on the field, which I understand because they're doing work on the field. Cody Campbell Field's going on the other side right now, and they're working on the Galaxy Stadium logo too. So we don't need to be on the field, and I get it. So, but I did ask Coach Perry if in our 2-minute drill, which you'll find later this week on our social medias, if I was his field goal kicker, would Tech still win the Big 12 championship? And he was confident, and
said he could coach you up.
He said either coach me up or we're just going for it every time. He was still confident we're going to win either way. Y'all keep your thoughts coming in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We'll visit with Texas Tech offensive coordinator Mack Leftwich coming up on 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Back live from Texas Tech Media Day, our coverage of the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app on TV, Fox 34 News Now. However you're taking us in, thank you for making us part of your Tuesday afternoon on the eve of football season, at least for these guys, because they start practice officially tomorrow. And these guys being Mack Leftwich, Texas Tech offensive coordinator, sitting to my right today. I'm Chois with Chris Snead. Coach, I say practice starts. We know it's a year-round thing at this point in football season, but how have you seen your team develop, grow from last year to this year? Because you're in a bit of a different situation. Last year the goal was to get to Arlington and try to win a Big 12 championship. You've been there, done that this year. How does it look different as far as the approach goes?
Yeah, I think the approach still stays the same. I think Coach does a great job of emphasizing, we're committed to the process of being better every day and being 1-0 in what we're doing. So I think ultimately, our goal is to still win a Big 12 championship, still get into the college football playoff, and make a run at that thing. But, really our guys are just they're locked in on what they need to do tomorrow. I know we're all fired up to start fall camp. Like you kind of joke, we've been at this thing for a while now, right, with spring ball and the OTAs we can do in the summer. But you still get that juice and still get that excitement that comes with fall camp. So excited to get rolling and excited to kind of start this journey of the fall season.
Yep.
Coach, get a big piece back with Quentin Joyner coming back. Obviously, lost him last year early. Cam Dickey and Williams step up last year. Now you get to add a piece like that, guy you brought in last year to be a major part of the backfield. Talk about how that opens up the offense a little bit more for you, or do you change what you're doing? You just changing the personnel?
Yeah, so I think getting Q back is huge. And pretty much everybody will tell you, in the fall camp when he went down, we were thinking he was gonna be the guy last year and was doing a great job, and we were excited about him. I think Jacoby and Cam, they did a phenomenal job, as good as really you can ask for last year, filling in and filling those shoes, and so those guys are pretty solidified, in the backfield. But getting Q back just allows us to use Jacoby a little bit more, in some different areas, and be in 20, 21 personnel where we're using 2 running backs on the field at the same time a little bit more, because you're not worried necessarily if one guy gets banged up, hey, there goes a good chunk of your game plan. And so last year we were trying to keep those guys fresh, and really even Jacoby at times last year for a good portion of the season was dealing with a little bit of an ankle injury. And so we were just trying to make sure that we could get through the season with those two and keep them healthy. Now having Q back just gives you so much more depth that you're comfortable with, and I think we'll really lean on those guys this year.
That's just 3 names in the running back room. That's a lot of mouths to feed there. You've got one of the best tight ends in the country. You've got a really deep receiving core this year with several guys you brought in, as well as Micah Hudson and Coy Aiken. You got a lot of guys that can make an impact offensively. Does that ever become a problem when you've got so many mouths to feed?
No, it definitely is going to force me to be creative in how we're getting guys the ball and being intentional about that. Definitely a problem. I would rather have that problem than sitting here and man, I don't know who's going to be our playmakers. Right. So good problem to have. I feel really good about our tight end room with TC, who I think is the best tight end in the country, and then you've got Jet Carpenter and our freshman Moose came in. Both those guys are doing a great job, and then we're 8-9 deep in the receiver room of guys that we feel comfortable rolling out there and playing and making plays. And so I think that was one thing that's a big focus this fall camp, and it has been a little bit through spring and summer, kind of figuring out what these guys are good at, but really being able to nail it down of hey, what are these guys' roles, what do they do well, how can we put them in positions to accentuate their skill set and what their superpowers are. And so finding kind of each guy has their specific thing that's going to contribute to the offense, and really carving out what those roles will look like.
Yeah.
Kind of a tumultuous summer, to say the least.
No.
A lot of drama, but coming out of that, we learn Will Hammond is ready to go. And none of summer happens because I think there's a narrative that because we had Sorsby here, Hammond didn't have the same kind of confidence. I think it's safe to say, had he not gotten injured last fall, that we would never even heard Sorsby's name. Just talk about the fact that he's here, and healthy and ready to go, and ready to feed all the mouths that you've got in that receiver room.
Yeah, I think one, to answer your first question, I think Will being back ready, being healthy, coming back from that injury, and really just the ups and downs of the offseason that he kind of had to go through, I think is a testament to that kid. I mean, he has done an unbelievable job of being just locked in on his rehab, locked in on his preparation to get to the point where, he's ahead of schedule and he's ready to go, day one of fall camp. So I can't say enough good things about the way that he's approached this offseason and handled, all the adversity that he's kind of been dealt. And so I'm excited for him, for him to go out there and be the guy and get that opportunity. And the good thing, like we just talked about, all those weapons you got around you, if you're playing quarterback for our offense, you don't have to go be Joe Namath or, you don't have to go out there and be Tom Brady necessarily. You just got to be a distributor. You got to make great decisions, know where the ball needs to go, and let our playmakers go make plays. And so I think that'll take a lot of pressure off of him, especially early in the season, is, just being able to rely on those guys who are proven around you.
So every snap we've seen from Will Hammond up to this point is a freshman snap, either a redshirt freshman or freshman. So he obviously takes a different role on this team. What have you seen from him in the development that gives you confidence that he can take that role from a backup type to being the leader of an offense.
Yeah, I think this summer when he came back and started, being able to get in the mix and some of the 7-on-7 things, you just saw just a different level of comfort out there.
Okay.
One, I think that goes with, being another year in the system, and two, being the guy, you're getting the passing game, you're getting the offense designed around what you do well.
Sure.
Whereas when you're the backup, a lot of times you're having to go in and you're having to execute an offense that was really built for another quarterback skill set. And so I think, us being able to kind of know him better, after having some experience last year, him being able to attack his weaknesses and some of the things that showed up on film, and then also just building the offense around what he does well. I think you're going to see a guy play at a really high level.
I wish we had time to ask you about the offense. I mean, the offense. We do?
Yeah,
I thought I heard some music. Oh, good.
No
music. Great. Well, I love this. Talk about this offensive line. I am, as a guy who sits there and watches offensive linemen all day long, I have been watching the progression of this offensive line to where you said there are some pieces that could play in any league in America, to that starting five could play in any league in America, to the 2 deep here could play in any league in America. Just talk about the way that progression of that offensive line and their strength and how they're going to help this offense this year.
Yeah, I think you see it around college football. You see it in the national football level. I think you win in the trenches and you win with great quarterback play. And so we feel really good about where the offensive line's at. I think we have depth there now that can really play. And you look at the 5 starters. I think we're going to have the best tackle combo in the country between Jacob Pond, who's a freshman All-American, and Howard Sampson, who started every game for us at left tackle. I think those guys are as good as there are in college football, and I think they're really ready to take the next step over what you saw even last year. From a consistency standpoint. You get a center coming back who will be a third-year starter, kind of running the show. You feel really good about his, understanding of what it needs to look like, the communication, just getting all those guys in the right spots. At left guard, we got Hunter Zambrano, we brought in as a transfer last year, and he's another one. I mean, to battle back through the injuries that he had. He came in with the expectation to play last year, ended up having to have a surgery to end his season and to battle back and be in a position to start at guard this year. Can't say enough good things about him. And then we brought in a transfer at right guard, Jordan Church, who I think will be one of the best run blockers in the country. He's a real mauler. He loves contact. He was juiced up when we got the pads on in spring and we put in counter. He got that first rep of counter. Man, he was fired up. So those are the O linemen that you like. So I think we're going to be bigger across the board.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that I'm excited about. I do believe big people beat up small people,
Yep.
and so we're going to have a chance, I think, to do that up front. And we've still got a ways to go. Those guys have to continue to get better, but excited about the possibility of having a really strong offensive line this year.
One name, we've got about a minute left, one name that has always, gotten a lot of attention around here is Micah Hudson. Micah Hudson, because he was your highest-rated recruit in school history for a little bit there. And there's been some expectations heaped on him from day one. What are your expectations as he moves into what is an assumed starting role this year?
Yeah, I think my expectation for him is just to go out there and perform the way that he's been performing. I think that's the great thing is all offseason he's been incredibly consistent. He's worked incredibly hard, and I think it's just time for him, and I think he feels this. Everybody in the building knows it. He just needs to go out there and be himself. If he does that and just goes and makes the plays that he's capable of making, everybody's going to be really fired up about him come this fall.
We're fired up for the season.
Yes, we are.
As it is right around the corner. 1 month, 1 day. We'll be right here at Galaxy Stadium.
We'll say it like we said to Kenny. If you're winning by 25 in the fourth quarter, feel free to throw into the end zone on the last play.
We're okay with it.
and then go for 2.
Especially against Big 12 teams.
Yeah.
Well, Mack, thank you for your time, and good luck this season.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
That's Mack Leftwich, Texas Tech offensive coordinator. You're listening to The Bottom Line from Texas Tech Media Day on 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
That was not my best effort. It is time for the most interesting facts of the day, brought to you by Dos Equis and the most interesting man in the world. Chris Snead to my right, I'm Chois Woodman. We're joining you from Galaxy Stadium. Texas Tech Media Day coverage today. And Snead, I've got a few factages for you. Probably. Snead, did you know Florida, the Sunshine State, has more indoor tanning salons than McDonald's locations.
That doesn't surprise me.
It is weird that people don't just go outside to do it.
They don't want to get their vitamin D.
Snead, did you know the phrase cut to the chase comes from a silent film era? When movies were usually long love stories that ended with
Like the chase scene.
with a thrilling chase scene.
Usually on a train.
So when people would say cut to the chase, it meant skip all the boring details and get to the exciting part.
Yeah, cut to the chase, buddy.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Snead, do you know what GEICO actually stands for?
It's a Government Employees Insurance Corporation. Government Employees Insurance Corporation.
You're correct. Company.
Yeah,
but
company, yeah.
It was founded in 1936 to provide auto insurance to federal government employees, but it's always been a private corporation, not a government agency.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Snead, did you know there are 96 bags of poop, pee, and vomit on the moon?
I guess they would have to leave it there.
Astronauts from the Apollo missions left them there to reduce the weight of their shuttles.
So we littered the moon?
So they'd be able to bring back moon rocks and core samples.
So we littered the moon with poop.
Pee and vomit. Yes. Oh, gosh. I wonder, did they bury it?
That's,
like the wind's not like blowing it away.
You can't. That's not.
That's actually worse if you bury it, right?
Why wouldn't we just jettison that in space?
Just send it off to the aliens?
Yes. Why would we pollute the moon? Why would we jettison our satellites?
You're asking the wrong guy. Did you know, even though Nevada is the most famous for its legalized gambling, it doesn't even have lottery. Lotteries have been illegal in Nevada since the state's constitution was ratified in 1864.
Why would you try to fool me by giving me the biggest lottery in the world is that whole state? I mean, people don't realize. You guys understand why all the lobbies are made out of marble there, right? You understand this. And yet you go over there and you willingly hand your money off. You giggle at people that play the lottery here in Texas, but you go jump on the plane to Las Vegas to give away $5,000 every month.
Would you please quit preaching at me?
I mean, and then I knew going to Las Vegas to gamble was dumb when my buddy put $20 in his ashtray. I said, "What's that for?" He said, "So I can get out of the parking lot when I get back." I was like, "I'll tell you what. I think that my casino theory holds true."
Nah, I've won money in the casino.
Wait a second. How much money have you won in the casino?
Not much. I don't play for much. But I'm more on the plus side than I am the negative side. Mm-hmm. But I do walk away, trying to walk away up. That's my attempt. May or may not go there later this week.
Hey, kid, I tell you what. How much are you going to gamble this week?
How much am I going to win?
No, how much are you going to gamble?
I don't know.
You got 1,000?
No, I won't take
$500.
I'll take. I don't know.
$500?
I'll take a couple hundred.
Okay. Tell you what. You give me 100, I'll slap you across the face, and we'll call it even.
No.
You stay here, and you can watch your kids play softball.
I'll bet you I can get you gambling by the end of the week.
Nope.
Give you 20 to 1 odds. 30 to 1.
I know the joke.
Okay, so speaking of gambling and odds, the Heisman Trophy odds are out, or updated, I guess. Any guess at who is the favorite to win this year's Heisman Trophy?
What's the Ohio State quarterback's name?
That is Julian Sayin.
There, he's won.
He is not one.
Really?
He is on the list, but he's not the favorite. He's number 7 on the list.
Who is Miami's quarterback?
That is Darian Mensah. He's number 3.
Yep.
Tied for 3rd.
Let me see. Let me say, who is Texas's quarterback? Arch Manning. He's number 1.
He is number 2.
Okay.
This updated list actually puts someone over him.
Let's see.
Think of pillow soft schedules that you were talking about.
Who's Notre Dame's quarterback?
C.J. Carr. There we are.
Yeah. And who's the number 1 team in America? Who's Georgia's quarterback?
Georgia is Gunnar Stockton.
Where's Dante Moore?
Dante Moore is tied for 3rd with Mensah.
Yeah.
Dante Moore at Oregon.
You don't even have to know the guys' names. Just tell me what school they play for.
You're not wrong. Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State, is the highest non-quarterback. He is tied with Trinidad Chambliss for the number 5 spot. There is a Red Raider on this list.
It's Cameron Dickey.
It is not
Terrence Carter Jr.
Cameron Dickey. It is not Terrence Carter. I don't think a tight end's ever won it.
Is it Will Hammonds?
It is Will.
Is he about 14th or 15th on the list? 20th on the list?
I lied. It's Cam Dickey. Actually, I saw a list earlier that had Will Hammond's name in the same spot, but this particular one has Cam Dickey at 200-1 odds.
Okay.
Which is somewhere in the 50th range.
You know, could we go back in time and look and see where Mendoza was this time last year?
That would be a good thing to find.
I promise you he wasn't my favorite.
I need to find – I bet I could hunt up an old email from –
You sure could. You sure could.
From old Jimmy back in 2025. I think, Snead, I think that's silly, like the Cam Dickey thing. Because the reality is, if someone's winning the Heisman for Texas Tech this year, it's Will Hammonds.
Will Hammonds.
One, it's become a quarterback award. So if you're betting on Cam Dickey at 201, that's where you light your money on fire.
Yeah.
Because also, we just talked with Mack Leftwich, that room is completely loaded.
Yeah.
So Cam Dickey, even if he has a phenomenal season, he's topping out at 1,200 yards or so because you've got so many other guys where you're going to keep Cam Dickey fresh this year.
Yeah.
And he's going to be ready to go for the postseason.
And because of the new ruling, you can't even redshirt Quentin Joyner and say, well, hey, we're going to let this guy win a Heisman, and we'll use you next year.
Yeah. Yeah, so
you get 5 for 5, man. Let's go.
We got, Rowden, I think, is the freshman this year. So there's all sorts of interesting that comes with it. But if there is a Heisman winner this year from Texas Tech, last year it was almost Jacob Rodriguez. He was top 5. But if it's going to come this year, it's Will Hammond, unless Micah Hudson goes for 2,000 yards. That's how these things work. And how these things work is it's not going to be Texas Tech because you're Texas Tech. Occasionally, I don't know, maybe Mendoza wins it last year, so maybe there is a shot if you are perfect. You have to be perfect at that point to have a chance. But the thing Mendoza has is he's playing in a different league. He's got that going for him. So Heisman is one of those things. I would love it. It would be amazing. Heck, I'd just love to have a guy there in New York. All these things would be awesome. But it's one of those things as a Tech fan I've just kind of learned to just slough off.
Yeah.
Because it is not – it's a popularity contest.
Yeah.
And that's the reality.
And even if the problem is you're in the same region with Arch Manning.
Yeah.
And really you're in the same region with Oregon's quarterback. And so you're somewhat
west of the Mississippi?
Yeah.
Well, it's all one region.
Kind
of is.
Western states. So kind of sucks.
It does. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I will laud it, celebrate it. Think it's amazing if Texas Tech has a Heisman winner at any point.
Wandering in here.
I think that's a true sauntering right there.
Yeah.
Is what that felt
saunters in here, just all on the joint.
Mike Gustafson. I'll think it's fantastic and amazing if Tech ever wins a Heisman. But I already know you are starting from way, 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 way back behind
But it can't happen. But it can happen.
It is allowed to happen.
If you get yourself 12 wins and get a W in the CFP, play for a natty, Will Hammond, you'll be in the conversation too. Just ask Cameron Mendoza, Carlos Mendoza.
Fernando
Mendoza, Carlos Mendoza.
Who is Carlos Mendoza?
He's brothers of Fernando Mendoza.
Golly, Snead.
I went to Gambit there.
Not all brown people look the same, Snead. Come
on. Chois Woodman.
All right. Man, we made it this far without getting fired. And
at the end. That is Chois Woman.
Right at the end.
Why don't you just go out there and kick a field goal? I dare you. I bet you. I'll bet you.
We have no balls.
I will fund you. That's a problem for you. You have.
Have a great rest of your day.
I'll fund your Vegas trip if you go out and do it right now.
For Chris Snead, I'm Chois Woodman.
Do it.
It's been the Bottom Line.
Do it.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.